Week 17, we're talking about running backs here going into our Super Bowl week. Let's go ahead and throw on up the rankings right over there. Talk about our top 10 here. At number 10, DeAndre Swift going against that Cardinals defense, ranked 32nd against opposing running backs. The Arizona Cardinals is a great game for any running back, let alone a running back on a potent offense. DeAndre Swift gets just enough carries, even though we see Kenneth Gainwell kind of eating away at his carries here or there. DeAndre Swift is an amazing running back this week against these Cardinals. If you have DeAndre Swift, there's no question that you're sitting any of these top 10 guys, but definitely feel confident if you have DeAndre Swift going against this Cardinals defense. I think it's going to be a phenomenal play for you this week. You should get plenty of carries in a game that they should be winning quite often. You should see a lot of healthy dose of DeAndre Swift. Should give you plenty of fantasy points this week to help you secure that championship. Coming here at number 9, talk about Bree Hall taking on that Cleveland Browns defense that ranks 8th against opposing running backs. Bree Hall's another one of those guys who's getting just a lot of work here. Now I know we saw Anaconda kind of get a little bit of work last week, whether it's Dalvin Cook or anybody else getting work, it doesn't really matter. Bree Hall is the horse against this defense that they're a pretty stud defense. I'm not going to lie to you. Cleveland Browns, they have a very good run defense ahead of them, but just the sheer volume alone that Bree Hall is seeing, I think he gives you just enough fantasy points. There's no way you're sitting Bree Hall anyway, so you have to start him. You're not confident as far as, whoa, I can't wait to see the guy play, but he should be able to give you just enough fantasy points for you to be fantasy viable and to help you secure that championship. So coming here at number 8, let's talk about James Cook here a little bit, going against the New England Patriots, ranks 13th against opposing running backs. Jibreel Gibbs, another one. We saw Leonard Fournette get about 10 carries last week. He's starting to work into the fold, maybe because they're getting into the playoff version of the Buffalo Bills. They might give Leonard Fournette a little bit more work, which does eat into James Cook's workload. We also see maybe Latavius Murray could take some of those goal line carries as well. So James Cook, not as stellar as he was just a few weeks ago, but James Cook's still a solid fantasy player. If you have him, and you're starting him against the Patriots defense, I think he's going to be able to do quite a bit. I think the Bills should blow the doors off of the Patriots, and I think James Cook's going to be the benefactor for that coming in later on throughout the game. You can start seeing Cook get a lot more carries, which should pile up some points for you. So James Cook easily at number 8 for me. Talking about number 7 here, Jonathan Taylor taking on that Raiders defense, ranks 21st against opposing running backs. Jonathan Taylor is somebody else that I really do like as well. We see that Moss, he's probably not going to be back again this week. So Taylor, it's his backfield. His backfield alone, he should be getting plenty of work against the Raiders defense, who allows quite a bit of rushing yards. So I do like Jonathan Taylor this week. If you got the guy and you spent the first round pick on his fantasy, now's the time to draft him or to play him because you drafted him so high. Go win yourself a championship. Jonathan Taylor should be able to give you enough fantasy points for you to do just that. Coming in talking about another guy you drafted in the first round, I'm talking about Bijan Robinson here at number 6 against that Bears defense, ranks 19th against opposing running backs. Bijan Robinson, what can we say? The Falcons just doesn't use this guy very well. It's like he either does really well or he does really not. So you have to start Bijan if you have him, just because he has the potential of giving you a very nice game, but he also has the potential of being a complete dumpster fire, almost going to get you so frustrated. You walk outside and you just throw that computer right into the dumpster because you are so frustrated. But Bijan Robinson, somebody who's absolutely electric. He can give you a lot of solid games, a lot of good plays. He can bust any game for a touchdown at any given moment. So you got to put Bijan Robinson in there. I do like the matchup against the Bears. Should be solid this week. Coming out of our top 5 running backs here at number 5, talking about Jahmyr Gibbs taking on that Dallas Cowboys defense that ranks 14th against opposing running backs. So Jahmyr Gibbs, one of these guys we like to see more carries of, right? When Montgomery comes into play, Montgomery eats in a lot of Gibbs workload. Now, it was all Montgomery, very little Gibbs at the beginning of the season. Then when Montgomery had the injury, we saw a lot of Gibbs, which really proved the potential. Now going towards the latter end of the season, we start seeing Gibbs get a little bit more opportunity. We can see how electric he is and why he was drafted so early. This Dallas Cowboys defense, they are pretty solid there. That's a stud defense out there, and I know they ranked 14th, but I think they play a lot better than that. It should be a tough matchup for Jahmyr Gibbs, but again, you can't sit this guy just because of what he can give you, with the talent he could give you. Dallas Cowboys, sometimes they let a lot of points go on the board. It should be a good matchup between the Lions and the Cowboys, so should see Jahmyr Gibbs get plenty of opportunities. So should be some pretty good fantasy points for you. Coming in at number 4, let's talk about Rashad White taking on that New Orleans Saints defense that ranks 4th against opposing running backs. That notoriously has a very good repertoire over the history against running backs, but Rashad White gets 20 plus carries a game. The dude gets some workload, and we have seen as of late, New Orleans has let some rushing ability go away. So I think Rashad White, just based on how many carries he is going to get, he should be a nice fantasy play. I don't see Rashad White having, a 25 to 30 fantasy point week against this New Orleans Saints defense, who is very good against the run. And they're kind of playing for the division at this point. So you should see New Orleans really step up and play a little bit bigger of a defense against Rashad White. I still have him here at number 4, just based on the opportunity alone. He should have a nice fantasy day for you, even against the Saints defense. Coming at number 3, we talk about Alvin Kamara on the other side of the ball here, going against that Bucs defense, who ranks first against opposing running backs. And again, I like Alvin Kamara this week at number 3, just based on his receiving ability, a little less for his rushing ability. So I think the Buccaneers are going to be able to stop Kamara quite a bit on the ground, but I think just overall, having those receptions out of the backfield, maybe those screen passing like that, is what the Saints really need to do to get Alvin Kamara in here. I think they need to do something to get this offense to click in. I think Alvin Kamara is the key to that, and if they're able to really put up a lot of fantasy points through the air, Alvin Kamara will be the recipient of that, easily at number 3 for me. Coming at number 2, we're talking about Kyren Williams, taking on that Giants defense that ranks 24th against opposing running backs. Kyren Williams, what can we say about this guy? He's been phenomenal. I mean, this guy coming in, and he completely took over this work at the beginning of the season. He has not looked back. He has missed 4 games this season, and he's still one of the top rushers in the NFL, right behind Christian McCaffrey. I like Kyren Williams, what he can give you, his opportunities. Yeah, he has a workload like Rashad White out there. There's nobody else getting any carries. Kyren Williams is running away with the show. He would easily be number 1 running back if it wasn't for Christian McCaffrey. So speaking of number 1, let's go and move on to number 1. Christian McCaffrey taking on that Commanders defense, ranks 26th against opposing running backs. Do I really need to have analysis about Christian McCaffrey here? The dude is phenomenal. He had a great day against the Ravens defense. Why wouldn't he have a good day against the Commanders defense? I think the 49ers got really upset about the loss to the Ravens. I think they'll come out here and completely smash the Commanders. A big reason why, not only Brock Purdy, but it's going to be Christian McCaffrey as well. He should be catching the ball, running the ball all over the field. Easily my number 1 play this week. As always, thank you for watching the video, guys. Hit the subscribe button. We're really close to 700 subscribers as we are building along going into this off season. You should be able to win a championship this week. If you're listening to the Bayou Bengal Fantasy Network here, we're trying to help you out each and every week with starts and sits and other players that you should be adding and stuff like that. Now going into the off season here, we're going to be building. We're going to talk about rookies soon. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We're going to prepare you guys for your championship run. We'll see you guys next time.